Hi there. Are you a doctor in India or anywhere else in the world outside of Australia? And have you ever wondered how to become a doctor in Australia? So, there are three pathways to Australia for a doctor. One is the standard pathway, second is the competent pathway, third is the specialist pathway. The specialist pathway, as the name suggests, is for specialist doctors. So, we'll take a look at that later. Competent pathway, if you are from India, forget about it. Don't think about competent pathway. And there's a standard pathway. So, standard pathway. If you have become an MBBS doctor in India or are at any stage after MBBS, whether you have had 5 years of work experience in a government hospital or private sector, or you were in the military, or you've done your post graduation, or you're 40 years of age, 45 years of age, whatever stage you are at, you can go in through this standard pathway. So this standard pathway is like people who studying in Russia, China, Ukraine, studying MBBS over there, completing everything, and then they come to India and they give the foreign medical graduate examination in India. They get their recognition by which used to be done by MCI, and then they become a registered doctor in India. So this standard pathway is just something like that. So whatever stage you're at, if you're a doctor, you have to give two exams. One is a theory exam, that is a MCQ exam, and the second is a practical exam. So these exams for Australia are quite costly. The first theory exam costs about 1,40,000, something like that, and the practical exam is almost double of that. I think more than 2.5 lakhs, 3 lakhs, something like that. I didn't check the exact amount, and so it is an expensive exam. Now, what is the exam like? Now, before applying for this exam, it's called the AMC exam, Australian Medical Council exam. It's part 1 and part 2. So before doing this, the first step that you need to do is create an EPIC portfolio. For this, search EPIC-ECFMG in Google, and you'll find a result, which is an electronic portfolio website thing for foreign medical graduates. You have to make a portfolio in this. Portfolio just means you have to make an account, and I'll use easier terms, okay? When they use terms like portfolio and residency, it all sounds very fancy and overwhelming, right? So you just make an account in this website, you put in your details. I think they used to say we have to spend around $500, but when I recently checked, I think it's something like $100 or $200. So anyway, you're going to spend definitely less than 30,000 rupees. You make an account, you put up your documents and like which college you have studied from, and you put up your qualifications, your MBBS documents and things like that. And then this documents are checked by this authority. They even contact your college to confirm about the whether your documents are genuine or not, and then to verify your documents, and then your account is verified, your documents are verified, your qualifications are verified, and then so you have this EPIC portfolio. Now, using this EPIC portfolio in this ECFMG website, this is used to register in Australian Medical Council website, where you have to make another account over there and tell them, see, I've registered in this EPIC thing, ECFMG thing. Now let me give your exam. So now in AMC, when they verify, so this ECFMG is like the police of such things, right? So when you apply for a job, they need a police verification, right? Whether you are a good person or not. So this body has verified you, and now when you go to AMC to apply in their website, they're like, okay, this guy is good, he's from a good college, he's done all his documents are genuine, we've verified it, all the stuff is real. So now you are able to register in AMC website and give the exam. So they hold their exams multiple times in a year, like let's say March, April, May, June, July, August, September, November. They don't take it in December and January. So, and let's say you want to appear in November 2020, okay? The last date of registration is 26th of October. And then you can choose a date in November also. There's not one fixed date. It's so flexible. You can give it on 13th November, 14th November, 15th November, 16th November, 17th November. So you get lots of choices, okay? And if you book your exam for, let's say, March or April of 2021, they have a certain deadline before which you can postpone your exam. Keep postponing your exam if you're not well prepared. Let's say you have restrictions because of your family, or you are not able to study well because of your job here in India, then you can keep postponing your exam. But once you cross a certain date, you can't postpone your exam and you lose money. So let's say you register now and apply in November, your result will be out in December. Then whenever possible, you can register for the AMC Part 2 exam, which is the clinical exam, where you get 16 cases and you have to pass in 12 of these. After you pass this AMC Part 2 also, your AMC standard pathway exams are done and you can apply for a provisional registration in the Australian Medical Council. Now, what did I miss out over here? The exam, the theory exam. The syllabus is surgery, medicine, obs and gynae, pediatrics, psychiatry, and some Australian medical ethics, something like that is there. So these 5 or 6 subjects compared to 19 or 20 subjects that you study to get a postgraduate seat in India. And over here, you just have to get a 50% pass mark in this theory exam. The pass percentage is said to be around 55% on average in the past few years. And don't be afraid by this 55%, because there are so many people who are applying for the exam without studying. So obviously the ones who are well prepared are going to pass, half of them are going to fail. How many people apply for Indian PG? How many get a seat that they want, right? So over here also there are so many people who are sort of failing, who are not getting a pass percentage. So don't take a look, don't listen to all this pass percentage and only 50 people are passing, it must be difficult, nothing like that. People who study well will definitely get through. And then, but if you do fail this exam, you can appear for it repeatedly again and again. If you pass the theory exam and then you apply for the practical exam, which is expensive. The problem is that it is expensive. That's the only issue. You're spending lakhs of money for this. And then if you fail in the practical exam, you can appear for that again and again as well. Now, after you pass your practical exam, you get a general registration by going there in Australia. Oh wait, the theory exam was and is done everywhere, all over the world. You can either go to Australia and sit for the exam, or you can give it in India, you can give it in Thailand, you can give it in other countries. If you want to give the practical exam, earlier you had to go to Australia. I think you had to go to Melbourne and they used to conduct the exam these days. But now I've heard that they've started conducting online Part 2 exam. So I don't have the details about that, but that's what I've heard. You can be in India and give the exam for Part 2 as well. And anyway, even if you have to go to Australia, it's a good thing. You're going to have a nice vacation, right? And then you pass this exam and you get a provisional registration. Okay, let's pause over here. Let's understand this thing. Do you have a friend who studied in Russia or China and came to India? When they come back here, or even you yourself, if you have done MBBS in India, just after MBBS, what do you have? You have a provisional registration. Then you do 1-year internship, and then you get permanent registration, right? That's how it goes. So here also, after passing AMC, think of yourself as someone who's just completed MBBS. you get provisional registration, then you do 1 year of job, and then you get a permanent registration. But this 1 year of job is like a first year junior doctor. It's 1 year senior to interns of Australia. You're not being an intern in Australia. You have to do this thing in order to get that. You have to get this 1 year of job experience in Australia to become fully registered over there. But you are 1 year senior to interns of Australia. Okay, so you have to know this difference. And this job, you must have heard of things like people having to stay in remote areas in Australia and all. Maybe it's true for some people. Obviously, in India also we have our friends working in small towns and villages in different parts of India. But I'm sure many of us do still get jobs in Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, or any capital of any state if we are ready to face the competition. Then we do get the jobs. It's not like we don't get jobs at all in big cities. So it's not like you don't get jobs in big cities in Australia also. I mean, it's just that if you're not well prepared, you might end up in a job in very remote areas. But if you keep trying, if you keep waiting for that good job, you might get a good job in bigger towns or cities. And so after doing this and getting your permanent registration in the Australian Medical Council, now you can apply for their training programs, like their post-graduation degrees. For some branches, as a foreign doctor, you can just apply for the training program. But for some branches like surgery, you need to be either a permanent resident of Australia or an Australian citizen. Permanent resident is like a lifetime visa permanent visa for Australia, and citizen as well, yeah, being their citizen. You can become their citizen if you stay there for long. And permanent residency, you can apply for permanent residency. Okay, if you have a work, if you are a doctor, if you are between the ages of 29 to 33, if you have a good English qualification and things like that, you get a very high score, and your application for this visa also becomes very easy. And for the English proficiency, you have to appear for TOEFL or IELTS and things like that. You need a band of 7 or more. Okay, again, I'm not going to use these words like band and things like that. IELTS exam is like, top score is 9, you need 7 or more in IELTS. Okay, so this is it for the standard pathway, and I've completed my post-graduation degree in India, but I can also go in the standard pathway now. Someone who has just completed MBBS is of 24 years of age can also go for this. My sister is 7 years elder to me, and she has become a junior doctor now in Australia since a couple of months. And I've heard of people coming from Brazil and other places who are 45 years of age and are trying for the standard pathway in Australia. So age is not a factor over here. Any qualification you will do if you have this basic medical degree. And if you are 30 or 35 years of age, don't worry, because half the people, not let's say half, a lot of people in Australia at your level will be of the same age as you, because a lot of people over there start their medical career a bit late, and not like in India where most of the people start at 17, 18 or 19 years of age. So this is how you can become a doctor in Australia. And if you would like to know a little bit of info that I have about the specialist pathway and the competent pathway, then do let me know in the comments, and I'll make a separate video on that if you people like this video. So please click on the like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more.